Oh boy, it's the Revelry. I'm so excited. Such a fun event with so many wonderful things to earn. We've got armor, we've got enhanced abilities, we've got cool ornaments that we can get. Oh man, I hope I get those ornaments. It's so very worth it, right? It's so great to have something you can work towards and just keep forever, right? Yeah, I'm mad about it. Why does this say this little particular thing? Why does this say only during the Revelry? What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and today I want to talk about the Revelry, the spring event in Destiny 2. We're going to talk a bit about the event itself and some of the investment rewards that are tied to it. It's going to be a little bit of a rant. I'll try to keep this one short, I promise. But basically, I wanted to talk about the Revelry as a whole, as an event, the rewards that are tied to it, the grind that you go for, and whether or not Bungie hit or missed the nail on this one. To be perfectly honest, I think they mostly nailed it. I think they mostly made a pretty decent event, and I was probably going to throw a few of you for a loop, but where they really did miss it is in some of the little things here, like the Ornament system. For those who don't know, of course, the Revelry is the ongoing spring event in Destiny 2. We've got about a week left of it. With this event, we got a brand new activity titled the Verdant Forest. It's basically a game mode revamp of the Haunted Forest activity we got from the Festival of the Lost last year. It's basically like an ongoing sort of horde mode thing where you just see how many enemies you can take down. You've got a set amount of time, you got to see how far into the forest you can get. It's basically unending until you run out of time. And then once your time is up, you get thrown into a boss rush where if you can take down 5 bosses within a set period of time, you get a bunch of rewards titled Reveler's Essence. This is a currency for the event that you take back to the event's arbiter, Ava Levante, in the tower, and you use that to purchase rewards for the event itself. That's a very simple overview. It's ignoring stuff like the Reveler's Tonic and all that kind of stuff. But it's really Ava Levante that I wanted to focus on. Because of course, as a part of this event, we got a bunch of new things. We got some brand new armor. We got a new exotic, the Arbalest. We of course had a bunch of brand new Eververse stuff, and for the most part, the rewards I think are pretty decent. I really like the way Bungie structured the Revelry event. I know a lot of people have their reservations about the Reveler's Tonic system and its usage in PvP and stuff like that. It has been a very grenade spammy couple of weeks. But for the most part, I've actually kind of really liked the way the Revelry has changed some things around. In particular, with the cooldown system, I know I can't be the only Guardian who's thinking this. I am dreading next reset when that Tuesday rolls around and suddenly I can't have my grenades back like that anymore. I've really gotten used to being able to have my grenades and my abilities and my melees all the time in PvE, and it's really gonna hurt me when that ability is gone. But of course, I'm certain there's going to be plenty of people who are just as happy to see it gone in PvP. But as an event, I think the Revelry has actually been pretty good. I love that we got a new activity that you only really have to play once. Once you've gotten your initial quest done so that you can unlock the rest of the Revelry, or once you finish getting your Arbalest, you really don't have to go back into the Verdant Forest at all. It's a good way to farm up Reveler's Essence, or to get the inaugural Revelry armor set. If you're running through and defeating those bosses at the end, you get 5 chests, which gives you a ton of the currency, the essence, as well as a good chance at getting the armor set to drop. So the mode itself is highly relevant to the event overall, but you can also just go off and do almost literally whatever you want in the game. If you're a PvP person, you can just go play PvP and you'll get plenty of Reveler's Essence. If you're a PvE person, you could go do public events, you could do your Flashpoint, you could do Gambit, you could do Reckoning, you could do basically any activity in the game, and you're going to get rewards tied to this event. And I think that is a brilliant way to move forward. This is really something we've seen Bungie start to do with some of their past events like Festival of the Lost, where they're not shoehorning you into playing a single specific game mode that you might not like. A lot of people were pretty bored with the Verdant Forest after they got their Arbalest, and it's really good that you don't have to keep going in there to keep getting rewards. Because of course, after you've gotten Arbalest, after you've gotten the stuff that you're looking for, you're spending that essence in one of 2 ways. 1, popping tonics to the cost of 50 essence per drink, or 2, buying packages from Ava herself. And this, Guardians, is where my beef comes in. So, what do you do with all that extra Reveler's Essence? Well, you head on over to Ava Levante. She's got a package called the Revelry's Assortments. Contains Revelry ornaments, gear, and other assorted treats. You can pick this up for about 75 Revelry's Essence. Now this is fine. This is a great way if you haven't been lucky with the chests in the Verdant Forest activity. This is a great way to get the rest of the armor set that you might need. Since Bungie implemented a sort of knockout system similar to what they had with the old Prismatic Matrix, so it would try to give you everything it has. And anytime you get an item from it, it basically gets knocked off the list, so you hopefully won't get a duplicate of that item. And that sounds good, right? It sounds like a good way for you to grind things up. If you don't have any luck getting the armor set, you should just be able to keep grinding up Revelry's Essence, doing whatever you want, and then using them here, and eventually you'll get a full set of armor. In no time flat, right? Right? That's the way this is going to work, right? No, wrong, because for whatever reason, and I do not understand this here, Bungie decided to include rare blue items in the Revelry's Assortments, greatly diluting the loot pool of things you can get from this and frustrating no end of hopeful guardians out there. That's right, you can spend hundreds of Revelry's Essence and just keep getting blue gear from this, as I myself went through multiple times over the past couple of weeks. That is something that is super duper frustrating, especially when you consider that one of the biggest things people are going for with the Revelry's Assortments is, of course, the Revelry Ornaments. You can only get them from this package here. These ornaments are applied to the helmet piece of the inaugural Revelry set, and there are 2 separate helmet ornaments per class, so 6 in total. And the drop rate for them, I think largely because the loot pool is so diluted with blues, is absolutely horrendous. Like seriously, the RNG is already all out of whack in this game. But why they would put rare items into this drop pool, I do not understand. And these things, when you pop one of these things, you get exactly 1 physical item per drop. You do get like some planetary materials and stuff like that, but it's really only 1 weapon or 1 piece of armor. And it really sucks when you drop 75 essence just to get a blue. Especially when you've been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and working your way towards trying to get those ornaments. It's just a questionable decision, and I don't really understand why they would make the price so high. Again, 75 Revelry's Essence to buy this, if there was going to be a significant chance that your only real reward from it was going to be a rare piece of gear you have absolutely no use for. You basically just spent 75 Revelry's Essence for a little bit of glimmer and maybe a weapon or armor part. And that just really doesn't feel good. And I really wish they would have removed the rares from the drop pool before this event went live. I can at least tolerate a legendary drop. That at least gives me some legendary marks and all of that kind of stuff. Now, thankfully, again, you can farm up Revelry's Essence in any other activity in the game. And ultimately, I think that's a pretty good grind for once you finish getting your Arbalest. You want to go after the ornaments? Great, go play whatever activity you want now, and then bring the gains that you got from those over to Ava. Keep purchasing until you get that ornament. I'm fine with that kind of system, but I definitely don't think it should have included blue gear into the mix. And that's not the only problem here, Guardians. Oh no. Oh no, because once you've farmed up thousands upon thousands of Revelry's Essence, you've turned it all in over at the Space Granny, and you finally get your hands on at least 1 of those ornaments, 1 of the 6 that you want or need. It feels really good. It's a cool ornament. It reminds me of some of the ornaments we used to get back in Destiny 1, especially with stuff like the raid gear from the Age of Triumph. The ornament for the Revelry gear is really simple. It's just horns or wings on your helmet. But it's cool. It was something worth grinding for. It's something you can show off to other people. And it actually interacts with the armor set and the shaders that you're wearing. You can change the color of them. The horns actually grow. They get bigger with the more Revelry gear that you have on. So if you've got either Vernal Growth gear, which is the Revelry's Eververse armor set, or if you've got the inaugural Revelry gear that you can just get from running the Verdant Forest or from these packages themselves, the more you have on, the bigger your horns get. I love that kind of thing. It's just like what we used to have with the raid gear in Age of Triumph back in Destiny 1, where the more raid gear you had on, the more pronounced the ornament effects were. I'm really glad Bungie's moving back to that sort of thing. But why? Why is usage of this ornament tied to the Revelry itself? This is a huge slap in the face to anybody who was grinding this event out trying to get these ornaments. Basically, once the Revelry goes away next Tuesday, these ornaments will no longer work. All that work you did, all that farming to get Reveler's Essence that you did, all those blues you swam through in like a Scrooge McDuck money bin of rare gear that you don't want, just to get that one Revelry horn or winged helmet sort of ornament thing, all that goes away next Tuesday. Does that feel like your time has been respected here? Because it doesn't feel like mine has been respected at all. And this isn't the first time Bungie's done something like this. It really reminds me of last summer when we had the Solstice of Heroes event, which was this massive celebration of Destiny 2 Year 1. Well, it was mostly a celebration of the fixing Destiny 2 Year 1 that Forsaken was promising. But we had this huge quest line, a month-long series of quests to build up this armor set. And then the armor was completely worthless, a few weeks later when Forsaken came out. That always rubbed me the wrong way, and it's the exact same thing they're doing here with the ornaments that are tied to the Revelry. I don't know why. I don't know who at Bungie thought it was a great idea to tie these ornaments only to this event. This was something I worked for, I grinded for, I had to play this crazy activity in the Infinite Forest, and then I had to buy a bunch of packages and swim through a bunch of blue engrams until I finally found it. That's the kind of thing, that's the kind of harmless cosmetic thing that I love to see in games like this, that kind of exclusive stuff, where if you grinded for something, you're rewarded with something. And I don't understand why that's being taken away next week. It really boggles the mind. It doesn't make any sort of sense to me. And I really wish Bungie would change their mind on that. Even if they were to do it by tying it to something. I mean, shoot, tie it to the Party Harder Triumph, which is the ultimate Revelry reward for completing all of the available Revelry triumphs. You get a special emblem for it. Tie it to that emblem so that the ornaments only work when you've got that emblem turned on. Something, anything like that, to allow players to continue using the cool stuff that they actually worked for by playing your game and engaging in your event. Because otherwise, it just feels really bad to have invested all that time, especially for somebody who plays on 3 different characters. If you got all 6 of these ornaments, that must have taken an incredible amount of work and probably thousands of Reveler's Essence, since the knockout list mechanics are going to be separate based on character. So to think that you spent all that time grinding and it's not even going to be something that you can even look at in-game or show off in-game at all, once next week rolls around, that just really whips the wind right out of the sails, in my opinion. And it brings us back to that question of why even run this event? Once you've gotten Arbalest, that kind of basically means you have no other reason to run the Revelry. That's what it tells me. And you should never tell your players that they have no reason to run your content. I don't know, Guardians, that just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I felt like I needed to share it with all of you. And by share, I do mostly mean complain to all of you. Who knows, maybe a few of you feel the same. If you do, or if you don't, if you've got another idea, be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. How do you feel about this? Are you somebody who grinded out for the Revelry ornaments? Would you like to keep those, beyond the event itself? Or are you somebody who doesn't think it's that important? I guess in the grand scheme of things, it probably isn't that important. It's just a really weird decision to me. Either way, be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. Remember, we do still have a hidden exotic quest somewhere in the database. Bits and pieces of it have been data mined. I'll cover all of that when we learn more about it in the future. But that is it for this one, Guardians. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. Guardians, stay frosty. And I'm glad I can always confide my feelings in you.